Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we'll go over some of the news that has come out today, including an It's Fixed, a changelog, and then also just a new pack that has kind of appeared on the Gaijin store. There is a War Thunder Tactiks pack, and you may remember in some of the data mines previously, there was the Thunder Tactiks BF109F4, and also the SD KFC 2342 Thunder Tactiks Camo 2. Both of these have actually been added in a pack form on the Gaijin store. You can also get them along with a unique decal for approximately $5 Canadian. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to pick it up. You also get 300 Golden Eagles with the pack as well, kind of making it worth it on top of the other parts. But this is obviously a promotion for the Thunder Tactics stuff that the War Thunder esports side of things have been doing. Now, you may not have heard of the Thunder Tactics thing because guess what? They haven't been attaching any kind of Twitch drops to it, so therefore nobody has been watching it. The average viewership with Twitch drops of the War Thunder esports stuff is probably around 15 to 20,000, or maybe even more than that. But without the Twitch drops, it is sat around 500 people. So this Thunder Tactics thing has actually been going on for quite a while, and it's kind of their ancillary content when they don't do Twitch drops, and therefore it shows more of the true viewership of the actual setup. Now, they do it every Wednesday if you want to check it out, and basically it is the community versus the casters, or, you know, the idea of a tournament where they fight each other off. So it's usually little 2v2 things. It's really boring to watch, but I know some people enjoy it. But if you're interested in the camos, if you're interested in the decals or the Golden Eagles, it's right there. They also released an It's Fixed, which went through some of the major changes over the last little bit. It's kind of crazy how we've got 103 It's Fixed already, which is just insane. So they talk about the non-exploding ammo. This was something that we discussed the other day. Somehow, I would like to know what happens with this one, because generally when it comes to War Thunder, this bug seems to crop up all the time with different vehicles. And it would be really nice if a developer kind of came out and said like why this happens or how it happens, because it's obviously something they know how to fix because they keep having to fix it in different vehicles. So what is causing this to actually happen? I think that would be really interesting. There was also issues with camouflages just not displaying correctly, which they've also sorted out, and they have done some little fixes to ray tracing, which is quite nice. There has been a bunch of issues with ray tracing, which really shouldn't be too surprising. Usually with ray tracing itself, since it's a new technology for War Thunder, there's going to be little tweaks and little problems. For me personally, I'm just not using it. Even though I have a graphics card which is good enough to technically use it, I prefer a stable frame rate. I prefer things to actually work properly instead of having stuff glitch and go around the place. I've only recently started using DirectX 12 because of the fact that even before this update, it was just my frames would just drop all over the place with it. So ray tracing wasn't even a thought. Now, with ray tracing being the way that it is getting improved, it is hopefully not going to be as much of a burden on the system, I might actually give it more of a go and see what's going on with it. They also fixed a lot of radars across the board. This is something they've also continuously been doing since the last dev server. It's just been insane reading the data mines because every single data mine pretty much just has a massive amount of radar changes and also bug fixes. First of all, so with some of them that they fixed, there was a bug where it was impossible to move the radar scanning area horizontally or vertically in the track while scan mode. And then there was a number of bugs with the radar getting stuck in memory tracking modes after dropping the target track. And then with the Copier 25 radar on the Su-39, it no longer locked onto empty space when trying to lock onto ground targets. And lastly, there was a lack of indication of the player's own active radar homing missiles on the radar indicator for all ANAPG-65Q radar carriers. So when it comes to radars, they're doing so many changes just every single day on them, which just seems completely crazy at the end of the day. It's so hard to follow what is actually going on with them and so hard to work out what or where it's going to be, which is why there's been a lot of people asking me, like, do you want to I'd like to see videos on how like radars work, or how, you know, missiles work, or how do you put them together. And we even were having conversations yesterday about how to defend against active radar homing missiles and also semi-active radar homing missiles, what factors to look out for, what to focus on. But even then, in terms of it, I could say something this week and then it just completely changes next week. Everything has been in such a flux with radars and missiles and everything for the last 2 or 3 years. I don't like making videos on, hey, this is what you do here, or this is how this radar works, or this is how you read your RWR, because every time I even think about sitting down to like sort out a video and work out what I'm going to say, they change stuff again. So it's just completely worthless. And it just makes the whole situation really annoying to deal with, because there's not really a ton you can do about it. So in update 2.45.1.40, this came out today, and they've changed a few things. So there was a bug that caused a reduced radius of fragment dispersion for aircraft bombs with a large amount of explosives, so more than 100 kilos, with a low fill factor. Then also, this affected stuff like the GBU-27, the Fritz X, the CAB 500, and the UPAV 1500, so all of these things should be a lot better off. The maximum launch angle of the Brimstone has been increased from 11 to 40, so actually it got buffed. I thought it may have got nerfed yesterday, but I didn't realize it was 11 degrees when it came to its maximum angle. So yeah, the Brimstone will be a lot easier to use now, which is quite nice. And then there is just a ton of radar fixes. So if you if you want to check them out, please go ahead. But yeah, it's as I said, it's been very, very tough following all of the changes to the radars, which is a key component with a lot of high echelon vehicles now. And yeah, since they change them constantly, it's very hard to keep up. When it comes to the FA-18A, they did also fix a bug where the text keys were displayed on the hood in the cockpit when selecting the AIM-7M missiles, the Mark 83s, or the air bombs, or the incendiaries and Zuni rockets. That's been fixed too, which is quite good. Also, the Su-30SM, there was a bug where the incorrect pylon was used for the T-220 targeting pod, causing them to intersect. That's been fixed. And then also, they have improved the thermal imager for the KH-38MT, which is what we talked about yesterday. And yeah, so even though they nerfed them when it comes to SP, they buffed them again. Isn't it fantastic? The F-15 RAM, there was a bug where it was impossible to turn on the thermal imager on the AGM-65D missile camera, so that's been fixed, so that will now be more useful. The P-51D-20NA, the erroneously increased machine gun recoil has been reduced, so for some reason the Israeli P-51 just had way more recoil with its guns than other ones. Makes absolutely no sense. Once again, no idea how that happened. The Tornadoes, there was a bug where it was possible to continue using countermeasures even when the wing that had the countermeasure pod was torn off. So that's been fixed. That's kind of funny that you were able to do that. And also, the F8F1, there was a bug that caused a sharp loss of rudder efficiency at high speeds. That's been fixed too. The Key 43-3 also, all of them have now self-sealing fuel tanks, and the 30mm HO-155 Type 5 cannons, there was an incorrectly underestimated sensitivity of the HEF shell fuse that has been increased. This issue could cause them to penetrate aircraft without exploding, which of course is a bit of a problem. And finally, after however many weeks, the Rapier has been technically fixed. There was a bug that caused the missile warhead to deal too little damage, and that has been fixed. They'd also like to note that the mass of explosives in the Rapier missiles is significantly lower than in other SACLOS missiles. Therefore, Rapier missiles still deal less damage than other missiles of similar calibers. Please don't shoot us in the face. Please, we fixed it. Like, it's amazing when it comes to this stuff. It really is. They have noticed there was a bug, that it was dealing too little damage, right? So now they've made it so it's dealing the correct amount of damage. but they are worried that people are going to notice that it doesn't do as much damage as other things, even though it historically would do less damage than other things. That was not the problem. The bug was the problem. So good that you fixed it, but you don't have to preface these things. Just fix the bugs. It's weird when it comes to certain vehicles, how it takes so long to fix them compared to others. And the Rapier is one of those. And yeah, it just sucks. The NA75 has now more smoke grenades, which is what we talked about before. And the KV-1L11, the material of its skirts have been changed from rolled homogeneous armor to structural steel. So that'll change its components slightly. Same with some of the Mr. S armor, but it really shouldn't make too much of a difference on that thing. That thing has absolutely no armor anyway. The R3T106FA and also the Firos, they have the modern test drive instead of the World War II test drive, which I think makes sense since that's mainly what they face. The 90mm smoke shell, the M313, there was a bug where instead of the smokescreen radius, an explosive mass was shown in the header of the shell card, and that's been fixed. That's kind of funny. And then also, for the interface, there's a few fixed stuff. So there's a bug where the replay progress and fast-forward markers were not displayed on the timeline when viewing a replay from the debriefing window. That's been fixed. And also, a bug where the option to call in an artillery strike would not appear in the gamepad radio manual has been fixed. So the people using controllers were just not able to use artillery. That absolutely sucks. For graphics, there was the occasional graphical artifacts that could occur when exiting a battle and going back into the hangout on PlayStation consoles. That's been fixed too. So overall, just once again, a ton of bug fixes. This week has been a bug fix palooza. And when it comes to the news coming forward, I mean, we have a battle pass in a few weeks, and then obviously we're probably going to have a new event soon too. So look out for that news as well. As always, hope you have a wonderful day. And also, enjoy some Broken Arrow. We're going to be playing some going forward. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.